Hi, I'd like to talk with you today to inform you of alcoholism during the advent of global pandemics such as the coronavirus, and to let you know how that global pandemic can cause the premature death of an alcoholic. And in order to be able to do that, I have to define for you and help you relate to each of those conditions. Coronavirus is a global pandemic. It is of the virology family of the SARS virus, and that means that it is airborne. That means that you can breathe it in. It means that you can touch a surface, and if there is that virus on that surface within 72 hours, you touch your eyes, your face, your mouth, touch your child, you can pass this virus along, and within 2 to 14 days, you can see symptoms for everything that ranges from common cold symptoms to fever, sluggishness, all the way to wanting to go to the hospital and then ending up on a ventilator, and you could die. Alcoholism. What does that look like? Alcoholism, as Tim Newman describes it, is alcohol use disorder. And it's a condition where that a person has a physical need or desire to consume alcohol regardless of the outcome. They need it. It's like a life-sustaining event to put the alcohol into their body to numb them from whatever is going on inside their head and mind. I'm sure when I say alcoholic, that's demonized in society, but it is being treated. And through the advent of, technology and ways to be able to support each other, alcoholics are finding a way to have recovery today that looks very successful. So every person that I know knows of a person who is or has been an alcoholic, and you know what that looks like in their lives. We also, by now, since March of 2020, when this pandemic hit, we have come to a place where that we now know what the coronavirus looks like, and we all probably know someone that has or has had the coronavirus. Sometimes it has resulted in death, which is a true atrocity. The WHO, that's the World Health Organization, their general director came out in 2019, and he said that this about the coronavirus, that a pandemic is a word that is not to be used lightly or carelessly, that it's a word that if it's misused can cause a reasonable amount of fear and unjustified acceptance that the fight's over, which leads to unnecessary suffering and death. And by that stance that he made with the World Health Organization, scientists, and political leaders, we now have guidelines that are in place to protect ourselves and those that we love that are most susceptible to obtaining the coronavirus before, hopefully, a vaccine is initiated to the general public. And so what that looks like today is this. As of November the 9th, Andy Beshear stated that the state of Kentucky is up in 6.5% rise in coronavirus cases, that there were 291 people in the ICU, that there were 192 people on ventilators, and that there was 1,102 people hospitalized, up from 68 people less than 7 days ago. So that's 80 counties that are in the red, and the statistics don't lie. So when you have a situation like this, what can you do? The Wall Street Journal reported yesterday that Pfizer and BioNTech SE, which is a subsidiary of Pfizer, has initiated an antivirus vaccine for the coronavirus that has shown 90% of the first 94 people that were given the coronavirus, this administration only gave them one symptom. So this is really leading us forward in finding a solution for the coronavirus. At the same time, we have these instituted guidelines that are for our safety. And that looks like this. It's the use of masks, the use of personal protection gear, social distancing, washing our hands. Also, so when the global pandemic started, you as well as I quarantined. I lost my job. So I saw schools stop. I saw, mass amounts of unemployment, and what the atrocities of a virus, something that we cannot see, can decimate our entire world. So with that being said, I'd like a vaccination, please. I'd like to also have a vaccination for alcoholism because I'm an alcoholic. I can relate to alcoholism because I am an alcoholic. But with strict guidelines for myself and boundaries, I have found a way to be able to survive since 2016. with alcoholism and do everything within my power to turn that into a successful life. I was first diagnosed in 2013 with alcoholism, but I struggled for 3 years and ultimately I needed more help. So when you have alcoholism, you need a support system. There's a networking chain of sponsors and meetings and social interactions that support you and help you through, whatever the situation may be that will cause you to have that physical need or desire to consume alcohol at any cost. So with that being said, how do you do that when you're in the middle of a global pandemic and you're quarantining and you can't have interaction with your support team? So you need to learn how to protect yourself, and you need to learn how to use technology like today to help yourself get to meetings, to have a support group on telephone, Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Google Meet, GroupMe. We use these things today to communicate and to help build each other up, to learn how to get through a situation through to the next step with the best success possible. So with that being said, how does that look to a newcomer, a person that has just began trying to become sober and have a successful life? Well, that person needs to reach out. They need to get help. You need to get help. You need to ask. You need to, give up your own laurels and say, hey, I can't do this by myself. It's something that I need your help with. And find people that are supportive. And if you know someone that needs help or you need help, you can get with me at any time. And I have lots of phone numbers of people that will help you and will support you to see you get yourself out of a situation that could end up in your death. So we all know someone that has the coronavirus, or has had the coronavirus, or someone that's an alcoholic or has been an alcoholic, or maybe you know someone right now besides me watching this video that's an alcoholic. So how can we help these newcomers have successful lives if they're online and they're looking for meetings, but instead they see omni-channeling, where that you have companies that cater to your alcohol desires and will deliver it right straight to your door. And so with that being said, we need to help every person that's an alcoholic stay away from a place where that they're isolating, they're not reaching out. But also you need to be mindful that these people may also not tell you that they're an alcoholic, but I'm sure that you'll see the signs. So these people need to clean their side of the street. I literally had to clean my side of the street as well as I needed to clean my hands. And so since 2016, I've been doing that with great success. To live a life and the choice to avoid risk is to not live a life at all. And to avoid living is one of the greatest risks of all, is what Craig Lounsborough said. And I really can adhere to that because statistics speak for themselves and no one's perfect. But today, in the advent of global pandemic with spiking numbers, I am living proof that there is success, that if you reach out and that if the person has a support person or support group that they can get behind or someone just to talk to while we're going through this pandemic, that it does not have to result in death, that you can have a successful life and that you can protect yourself and your loved ones as well as seeking treatment for another condition. So let's face it, the pandemic is bad. And it's made things even worse for alcoholics. And our unwillingness to address the situation and to act and be responsible and do something about it, that's crime. I hope that this information has helped you realize that not only during a global pandemic are we suffering to these restrictions, but we also have a lot of other conditions that are causing us to suffer, but they do not have to lead to death. Thank you.